thank you for coming. I'm sure we'll have a couple of people drop in as we go. So as you might remember, a couple weeks ago, oh, here we go. Then I'll pause my spiel. Henny Rourke. All right, so what we're gonna do today is basically what we'd had planned for last week. So if you've had a chance to look over our lesson on the first person singular habituals, then you should have had a chance to, then you should know everything you need to know in order to participate this lesson. But it's okay if you feel a little left behind, just ask us and we'll slow down and try and help you through it. So does anyone remember what the word singular means? So we've been talking about our singular habitual verb endings. So what does singular mean? And you can type it in the chat or you can say it out loud. All right, so I have the word cat in English. Then I have the word cats. Do y'all know which of those two is the singular word? Just type for me in the chat which between cat and cats is the singular one. Yeah, cat. Yeah, so singular means we're just dealing with one. So that 2 weeks ago now, when we learned about our endings like kani, which is what I would say if I'm describing what I'm doing. So maybe I'm sleeping and I say rapukani. That's singular because I'm only one person. English also has plural. That's what cats is. So in English, if like, for example, me and Justin were doing something, we'd use the plural. If me, Justin, and Sydney were doing something, we'd use the plural. If everyone in this class were doing something, we'd use the plural. But tunica is interesting because tunica, instead of just having singular, meaning one, or plural, meaning more than one, we have three different things. We have singular, meaning one, and we have dual, meaning two, and then we have plural, meaning more than two. So dual means I am just talking about two people or things, exactly two. If I'm talking about less than two, if I'm just talking about one, I'm going to use singular. If I'm talking about more than two, I'm going to use the plural. So last week we talked about our singular habitual endings, and now we have a reminder of what the singular part of that means. But what about the habitual part? Does anyone remember what the habitual part of that means? So for example, right now I'm sleeping and I'm saying rapukani. And now I'm dancing and I'm saying hipukani. I'm using that habitual. So habitual is what you use if you're talking about something that's happening right now, like it's ongoing while you're talking, or something you do all the time. So I'd use the habitual to say, I am talking right now, or to say in Tunica, but I would also use it to say, oh yeah, I fish all the time. When I say fish there to say I do it all the time as a habit, I also use the habitual. So I'm going to write that in the chat for us, but if you're having trouble following it, you can go back to those that PowerPoint we sent out 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago if you're new to the class. And you can see an explanation of all of this. You don't need to be able to describe all of this that way. I'm just telling you because sometimes we are going to describe something as like a dual habitual ending. We want to make sure you understand what we're saying. So habitual equals is for an action that is ongoing or done regularly. So it's habitual, like it's a habit. You can see the word habit in it. All right, so that's our boring grammar review. And now we're gonna get back to doing some actual Tunica, which is gonna involve a Kahoot here in just a sec. So I did Rapukani for you. And oh, right now, if you can see on your screen, which hopefully you have it in gallery mode, although he stopped now, Justin rapuk, although he actually stopped sleeping. Now Sydney hichi rapuka. And then let's see. And now if I'm talking to Justin who's sleeping, I'm going to say Justin ku, or not Justin ku, Justin rapui. And then if I'm talking to Sydney who's sleeping, I'm going to say Sydney hichi rapuka. I should have said rapukati earlier when I was talking about her. So you don't have to have memorized all that, but you're going to get a little quick Kahoot here where we're going to go back over it. And then we're going to talk about how to talk about two people doing all these actions. So let's see. I think what I do is I hit play on the Kahoot. Teach. All right. And now I'm going to screen share. This is usually Sydney's wheelhouse, so I'm getting a little used to doing this part. All right. I shared a little early. All right. So if you'll remember, you want to go to kahoot.it and input this game pen. I'm going to get rid of that music. Awesome. We have Angel. And then Rourke, if you just go to either your Kahoot app or go to www.kahoot.it, which is on the screen right now, and type in this pin, you can join as well. And don't forget, it's been either 2 weeks since you looked at that, or it's, you were only able to see it on a recording. So don't get stressed if you're having a little trouble. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. All right, so here's our habitual review. All right. Kanak yak. All right, good word. It's like we said a second ago when Justin was sleeping. We said the same thing. We said Justin rapuk. We also had an answer of wesak, which is wesakani. All right. I know I was incredibly close to the screen when I did that. All right. Here is our next one. Kanak yakati. Now this time we have rapu for all of them. So what you're going to want to do is pay attention to that ending. Yeah. What did I say when I was talking about Sydney rather than to her? Or what did I say the second time? I messed it up the first time. All right. So rapukati. She is sleeping. So what you're going to want to remember for that, for the next questions, is that we have rapu for snoozing, and we have kati for telling us that she is doing it. All right, here's our next one. You're asleep. Your friend wakes you up and asks you kanakiaka or kanakiaki, depending on whether you're a boy or a girl. How do you respond? So when answering this one, think about what I said when I was describing myself. I said, rapu, something. So one of these endings applies for when you're talking about yourself. Now, I'll give you a hint. It's not rapukati because we already used that to talk about she or her sleeping, right? Excellent. Yeah, rapukani. See, and also really good guess. You got a lot of the sounds right? And you had only heard it once. Let's see. Excellent. Ko'o. Right, so the person in the pictures asks you, kanaki akani. How do you answer? And so we just found out that kani ending means that someone is talking about themselves. So you have to tell SpongeBob what he is doing. Right. Rapuk is an excellent guess. So rapuki is what you're going to say when you're talking to SpongeBob. It's what we call the second person. It's in English when you say you, and in Tunica when you use hema or ma. Rapuku was an excellent guess because we used that earlier, right? But then we were talking about SpongeBob and not to him. Oh, excellent work, Rourke. Sorry, I actually skipped through that. So the person in the picture, we're doing the same thing again, asks you, kanaki akani. You answer. So remember, again, we're going to want that second person because we're talking to them, which means one of these answers is kind of a trick. Rapuka, awesome. Excellent work. And rapuki is what we're using when we talk to a guy, right? And rapuka means we're talking to a girl. Excellent, well done. And here's our very last one, kanakiyaku. Nice. Yeah, we basically had our first question again, didn't we? We had we were saying, hey, what's he doing about SpongeBob? And SpongeBob's sleeping. So we say, rapuk, he's sleeping. Really, really great job, both of y'all. It's been 2 weeks since you heard about this at all. And then for you, Rourke, you had to look over this on your own or hear it today. So you guys both did a fantastic job. And all that is just a review to, let's see, I'll stop the share. Wow, really good job. All of that is a review to get us started with today. We're going to be saying really similar stuff, but talking to two people or about two people instead of one. I wanted to say one more thing before we got into that, which was, oh yeah, ko'o, lapu panu. You guys can now form full sentences in Tunica. Like, y'all have been doing like one class a week and you can already like actually talk about things and form full sentences in Tunica, which is super impressive. Like, y'all aren't just learning words on their own. Soon you're going to be able to tell stories and things like that. So really great job. All right, I think now it's time for our new lesson, and we're going to go to our Yana Lepini. And again, try and put your viewer in gallery mode so you can see all three of us at the same time, because we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to do the dialogue once, sort of acting it out, and then we're going to do it again where you can actually read along with us. Let's see. And I'm ready when y'all two are.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready when y'all are now.
Me too.
Take us away. Mm-hmm. Y'all gotta.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I gotta split my screen. Okay.
All right. Excellent. Justin, Sydney, kanakiakwina.
Woyukina.
Woyukina.
Okay. Oh, Justin, Sydney, woyukwina?
Woyukina.
Oh, okay. Justin ku sinichi unima woyukuna. All right. So that's our first one, just acting things out. Do we want to go ahead and share it with the writing?
Sure. Screen share. Here we go. So this was Yanalipini 1. So you can see Meg Chi started out by saying Justin, Sydney, Kanak, Yaquina. I and Sydney led to say Woyukina because we were both swimming. So that was two people in the first person, us talking about ourselves, Woyukina. Then Meg Chi went on to ask, Justin and Sydney Woyukwinan. So she was talking directly to us. And since there's one guy in it, it kind of makes it all masculine. So she said, Woyukwinan, second person, masculine dual. Sydney Chi leads on to say, Hon, Woyukina. We're talking about what we were both doing in the habitual form. And Meg Chi goes on to say, Woyukwina, talking about us again in the second person, masculine dual. Justin Ku, Sydney Chi, Unima Woyuk Una. So as you can see, she's saying Justin Ku and Sydney Chi. So she was talking basically to the audience with that. So therefore she was talking to you all in third person dual habitual. Justin Ku, Sydney Chi, Unima Woyuk Una.
Should we do the next one real quick?
Yes.
All right.
I'll stop the share for now. And then I'll.
Oh, good idea. All right. I can't. Not great at this. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Sydney, Meg, Kanak Yak Hina.
Woyukina.
Home. Woyukina.
Woyukina. Sydney Chi, Meg Chi, Sinima, Woyuk Sina.
Yeah. All right. And then one last time where y'all can read along, and then we're going to talk about this.
So we have Yana Lepini 2, Justin Ku, or me, myself, Justin. Sydney, Meg, Kanak Yak Hina. As you can see in between the K and the I is an H, and that H represents second person dual feminine because there were two women swimming. So Kanak Yak Hina. Then we have Sinichi says Woyuk Ina. And basically she was saying again, we were two, or us two are swimming. Mm-hmm. Then Meg agrees with the line Meg Chi Hon Woyukina. So again, she's iterating that they two were swimming in the first person. And then I am looking and kind of seeing what they're doing and saying, Woyukina. That's why I pointed at the screen, because I was talking to them two. Woyukina, Sydney Chi, Meg Chi, Woyuksina. Saying that in the third person dual feminine, which would be Woyuksina with an S.
Cool. So yeah, do you have a few things on the Padlet you'd like us to go ahead to?
With that being said, judging by this picture and what we were talking about, what do you believe that woyu means?
Should we give them the Padlet link?
Yeah, I need to give them
Tika.
skipped over that. No, that's not. One second. Okay, I'm going to put the Padlet URL in the chat, as we can all see. So everyone go into their chat box and click in the link.
Angel has the answer in the chat, which is awesome. Now that they have the link, do we want them to add it on the Padlet?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Yeah, so now that the link's up, when you're answering Justin's questions, you can go to that little comment that his cursor, like shape that his cursor is over, click on that and add your answers. Tikach.
So in English, what is woyu? Kanak yakati. What is she doing? Okay. I'll wait a little while for the rest to answer. See if we can get one more person to answer. Okay. So we have swimming and swim. So yes, both of you are sort of right. So it's habitual for swim. Well, this is just the verb without adding any habitual ending. So the right answer is swim. So correct. Very good. Very good. Lapu, lapu. Let's move over to woyukina. So this is a boy and this is a girl. And if I were to talk about myself with another feminine presence, I would also say woyukina. So with that ending in mind, go ahead and answer in this little text box. What is woyukina? Keep in mind the ending. Woyukina. What are they two doing? Let's answer to the best of our abilities. So I'll go ahead and help us out here. Woyukina, ina is first person dual. So with our verb, woyu, what is that saying about these two?
Do you want to join me, Justin? Yeah. Woyuhina.
Ima megchi woyukina.
Yeah, so just take a guess of what this might mean in English. If you think about who says it while they're swimming. It's totally okay if you aren't sure. You certainly know half of it because we just figured that out on Woyu.
Home. We are both swimming. Two. So good. Good, Angela. Very good. We both are swimming. And we know that from this ending right here, kina. Now let's go ahead and look at another verb ending, woyukhina. So in the dialogue, where do we say that? When I say Sydney, Meg, kanak yak hina, Sydney says woyukina. Meg also says woyukina. And then I say, woyukhina. Sydney chi, Meg chi, woyuksina. So what is in English woyukhina with that ending? Let's go ahead and answer again in the text box. Okay, we have one answer. Can we get one more? I'll just wait. If not, we'll talk about it. So, excuse me. So we have an answer from Angel. Both, as in being two females, are swimming. Almost. So you're all right. Two females are swimming. And one thing that was left off on that was the second person dual part, which is saying that you two feminine dual or you two ladies are swimming. So that's very good, very good. We're getting there. So, woyukwina. And here we have two guys swimming. So this is still in the second person dual version. So if two guys are in the picture and we're saying woyukwina, what is this saying? It's almost like the previous one. Woyukwina. Answer in the text box. Answer. Let's see what we have. Second person dual male, those two males are swimming. So instead of saying those two males, we would say you two. So woyukwina is literally saying you two males or you two guys are swimming. Woyukina is you two women or you two females, you two girls are swimming. And woyukina is us two. Us two are swimming. Like me and Meg, we're both swimming. Now we have woyuksina. So we already went over in the first person if two people were swimming, woyukina. Woyukina was for you two, and woyukwina was for you two masculine. And here we have woyuksina. So if Meg and Sydney were both swimming and I were to see them swimming, and I had one of you standing on the side of me, I would tell you, Meg chi, Sydney chi, woyuksina. So with that being said, answer in the box, what does woyuksina mean? Just about, or approximately. I'll give about a minute or two, nonetheless. Those two are what? Okay. And we have an answer. Those two girls are swimming. That is the exact correct answer. And I almost said it better. So those two women or girls in this case are swimming. Hence, woyuk sina. Woyuk wina, you two guys. Woyuk hina, you two girls. And woyuk ina is us two are swimming. So now, last but definitely not the least, unima woyuk una. And these are two guys. So how do we say in English woyukuna or unima woyukuna? Answer in the text box. So unima is also a third person pointer out to you two males, or let me not give the answer. Just know that unima is for third person. So let's say if I, and I'm gonna use your name, Rourke, if we two were swimming and Meg and Sydney were looking at us swim, they would tell each other, Unima woyuk una. Justin ku and Rourke ku woyuk una. A few more moments. Okay, we have an answer. Those two males are swimming, and that is the correct answer. Specifically, those two males are swimming. Unima woyuk una.
Hello, everyone. We're going to try and wrap up in the next 10 minutes just because the Zoom needs to get to its next class. But one thing I wanted to mention was, you notice there's an extra word, right? In unima woyukuna. And I've in the chat over here, every time we've gotten an answer from y'all, I've gone ahead and written it out for us. So you can save that if you would like. And it breaks every one of these words down into their parts. And so let's look at, let's say woyuksina for a second. There are two parts to woyuksina. The first one is woyu. And can y'all type what that means for me in the chat? Swim. Yeah, awesome. And the second part is huksina. And that, as we've said, is how you say that two people are doing it. Those two people who are doing the thing are female. And then also we're talking about those people. It's third person, right? But you'll notice our translation of that sentence for woyuksina is they are swimming. And there's an extra, well, there's two extra words, but there's an extra part in there that we don't see in the Tunica version, that they part. And that's because if any of y'all have ever learned Spanish, it's a little like this too. But basically that pronoun there, that word they, I, he, or she is optional. You can say, for example, inima woyukina, which would mean we are swimming. But you can also say woyukina, which means we are swimming. Or you don't have to include that part. And what we've done at the bottom, and that very last one that Justin had given us that said unima woyukuna, that means the exact same thing that woyukuna would have meant. We've just included the pronoun there because unima means they, two guys. So you might have noticed over a couple of dialogues, sometimes we have that unima, hema, inima, stuff like that in there, and sometimes we don't. That's because it means exactly the same thing. You don't have to use the pronoun there, but you can. And in this last one, we decided to use it. That's all I had. I just wanted to take a minute to say that. Well, I don't think we have time for our Kahoot today, so I think it'll be our review Kahoot next time where we'll go over this, which that'll be, I believe, our last class before the break, and then we'll pick back up January 14th, I want to say. So, tikach. If you are having trouble keeping up with this, we sent out, if you'll remember, that PowerPoint that has it says like habitual endings on it or something like that. If you look at that, it has a little box, and that table has every single one of your habitual endings. It has all the singular ones we did a couple weeks ago. It has all the dual ones we did today. And we explain how to read it. So if you want to review this and look at the endings, you totally can. And I believe next week we'll either reinforce this or we'll move on to our plural endings, depending on how everyone's feeling. Does that sound good to everybody? Anything else y'all want to add?
I think I pretty much covered it.
Cool. Well, tikach xiao, apoinan, which is I'll be seeing all y'all. Or I guess I want apoitin because I'm talking to all y'all. And yeah, we'll see you next Thursday.